Hello Capsuleer, my name is Gildy and welcome to EVE Online. Today, as promised, we will finish up Insurgency content. For basics of what insurgencies are, their effect on factional warfare and Empire high-sec areas, check out my previous video. Card will pop up on the screen right now. Go ahead, pause this one, get up to speed and come back. I will wait. Everyone know what's going on? Great. Today, I will cover what are the requirements to join the fight, how and where you can join, how the sites work and what they pay out, what are the current issues of insurgencies, and some theory crafting on what could be changed to make this more enjoyable. For the last point, I have reached out to Phantom Silver, CEO of the Bombards of St. Dude's Alliance. They are part of Guristas' pirate militia. He has shared with me how the content looks for them, what their pain points are, and let me pick his brain about some ideas I had for solutions myself, while he shared his opinion on what could work. If you are interested in getting into the pirate side of Insurgency or just want to join a group that wants this content to thrive, rather than be in a Farmville in space, check out their information in the video description. So, let's cut the lengthy intro already and get straight into it. In order to join Insurgency, you need to enlist with one of the militias taking part in the fight. For Empires, you need 0.0 base standings, which are standings before your social skills apply. To find what your faction base standings are, you can hit your character profile, go to Interactions, Standings. Then click the faction you are interested in joining and hover over the little question mark on the right side to see the standings. If you need to fix them, train up your social skill, as it gives you 5% standing increase from missions per level, which makes it crucial for standings grind. Then, first thing you can do is to go through the Sisters of Eve epic arc. It gives you a decent boost to standings without any penalty for other factions, and you choose which faction you will gain standings for on one of the last missions. One caveat is that you can perform epic arcs once every 90 days. If the epic arc was not enough to get you above 0.0 standings, you will need to get to running missions. For every 16 missions of the same level and faction, you get a storyline mission which will affect the faction standings, but will also have a small penalty to factions that don't like the one you're running missions for. For pirates, the situation is a little bit more complicated. You do need just over -2 base standings, but mission providers for the pirate faction sit in NPC nullsec. This means that people might hunt you running the missions, but there is a solution. Both the pirate factions have their own epic arcs, and you don't need pirate standings to get going with them, but rather enough standings with faction, corporation or agent that can start the initial mission. For Angel Sound, Angel Cartel arc, you need standings with either Minmatar or Amar. And for Smash and Grab, the Guristas pirate arc, Galente or Caldari standings are enough to get going. I will link EVE wiki pages for all the mentioned epic arcs in the video description, so you can get all the additional information there. Once you get your standings sorted, open the agency, encounters and pirate insurgencies. There, open Enlistment window and choose your faction. First, you need to choose a side, Pirates or Empire, and then the exact faction you want to join. If you are not in a system that allows for enlistment to the faction you look for, you will see Initiate Enlistment button. It will take you to the nearest station that allows for enlisting in factional warfare. Simply dock there, reopen the window and hit Enlist. Congratulations! You can now be shot by any other enemy militia, which will be visible in the upper left corner, but also take part in factional warfare and the insurgencies. I do recommend first sorting your ships and having a plan on how to reach them once you enlist, as at least pirates need quite a hike to enlist and get back. So, you enlisted, got your ship, found the insurgency area in the agency. Now what? You can do two things to get into the swing of content. PvP, fighting the opposite militias which are legal targets due to the factional war, so you do not take standing losses or generate kill rights if you engage them, or capture sites to push corruption or suppression in the systems. Those sites will be marked as Guristas or Angel ones, so do not confuse them with the regular Empire sites, which will only push the regular Empire warfare back and forth. Now, let's go through the sites, what limitations do they have, how much they contribute to the suppression and corruption mechanic, how they are different from regular factional warfare ones, and how much do they pay out. You will be able to see at which stages each site spawn on the right side of the screen, while site descriptions are presented, and I will leave a link to that information on EveWiki as well. Let's go through the basic sites. Advanced 1 sites will give a full payout to 1 person. More people piling into the site will spread LP, but make it less and less per person. Advanced 5 sites are aimed at 5 people. Payouts in the sites you will see on the screen are tested on Advanced 1 sites, with just 1 person being in them. Insurgency has no scout sites. Regular sites come in small, medium, large and open variety. Insurgency also only has advanced sites, meaning that all ships can enter them. Regular factional warfare sites have a navy variant as well, where only Tech 1 and navy ships can get in. Last big difference is that instead of having just 1 rat that sits in a site, you will have for Advanced 1 sites in Insurgencies 3 rats that are friendly and 3 hostile ones that are fighting inside the ring. For Advanced 5 sites, it's 5 versus 5. In order to capture the site, you need to destroy enemy rats and stay within the 30 km ring of the site. New rats or enemy players coming in will make the site contested. If you then lose your ship or leave, they will start ticking the timer towards their win until it goes down to 0, but if you had some progress, they will have to undo that first. Insurgency also introduced 2 special sites that have their own mechanics. First one is the Mining Op Ambush. Pirates have ambushed a Rorqual in an open site and want to ransom it. Mortal Legion responded to the call for help, starting a fight. Both sides of Insurgency can help their side to either get the ransom in case of pirates, or clear the pirates and allow for the Rorqual to escape. There is no gate or ring of influence, so you warp in and get right into action. The goal is to destroy 3 waves of enemy ships, focusing on cruisers and battleships' enemy fields. Frigates can be ignored as they will disperse if you finish all 3 waves of the big ships. I have encountered a bug where you clear a wave, but the next one never spawns. In that case, you can clear all of the enemy frigates to finish the site. Then, wait for a minute to get your LP, as payouts can take some time. Second and last special site in Insurgency is the Ice Refinery Heist. It consists of 3 warping points after you take a gate, Pirate Base, Empire 1, and on top of the site, 1 for unaligned players. The goal of the site is to fight over control of automated tankers that are on the bottom of the site, while fighting off waves of rats that fight each other and you on the site. Killing rats will have them keep respawning, but you need to manage the waves as they will neutralize your capacitor, tackle and web ships. The goal of the site is to escort 10 of the tankers to your base, and you do so by getting within 5 km of the tanker, enabling the guidance option, and then keeping within 10 km of it to bring it to your base. Now that we covered the juicy payouts of Insurgencies, let's get to the pain points. First, I will talk about the ones that affect both sides of the conflict, where I agreed with Phantom, as if both sides of the conflict think something is bad, I think it makes sense to start with that. As I hinted at the start of the video, one of the biggest pain points of Insurgencies is how farmed they are, mostly by multi-boxes. The biggest offenders are the null block players. They will drop number of ships that you cannot really contest if you are solo or in a small group, AWOX you in low-sec sites to make sure they grab the payout, or even call for their friends that run the opposing faction to come into the site and destroy your ships, then leave without fighting each other. This ends up diminishing loyalty points value for everyone involved and kills the fun of people who actually want to fight and enjoy the PvPvE environment. The farming connected with how Insurgency sites spawn makes for a very weird pacing of the content. At first, barely any sites spawn and getting first levels is a very slow process, then the initial 5 systems speedrun the 100% of suppression or corruption, but the more it spreads, the slower it becomes again, because big sites are likely to spawn in already maxed out systems, or they are spread so much that you end up having to push new systems with mostly small and medium sites, which take forever to make a dent in percentage needed to suppress or corrupt a system. One solution I thought of is that the more systems hit level that spawns the sites, the bigger the number of bigger sites should be. If you get 10 systems at level 4, there should be some mechanism that enables additional 1 or 2 sites of certain level to start spawning across Insurgency to not have hard caps. Phantom did have a great idea as well, which is to force advanced 5 sites to spawn only in systems that hit up to level 4 corruption or suppression. Once a system is fully captured, those sites should move to where they really matter and can change the outcome of Insurgency rather than making safe farming heavens. For AWOXing, the solution that Phantom did discuss with me was first of all increase penalties that come from it. There should be a big hit to the standing loss when attacking other allied enlisted users, because there can't really be a situation where 1 or 2 people just decide they can stomp out other players out of whole content type because they got a fat enough wallet for it. It could maybe even happen that if you hit the negative standing limit, pirates or empires should kick you off the enlistment even if your corporation is still enlisted, to discourage blue on blue incidents. However, in order for that to happen, one of the unintended mechanics need to change, that is losing standings for getting blues caught in your bubbles in lawless lowsec. Another possibility which I did agree with was to maybe limit which side can you pick. If your alliance or corporation has the option to limit direct enlistment, then it should be either Empire or Pirates, which would combat situations where Frat has multi-boxes on both sides and just call each other to deal with people they deem seagulls, diminishing their own LP gains. I know this won't fix this completely, as they will start old corporations, but the more inconvenient it is for some of those people, the better for the health of insurgencies as a whole. Another point for direct enlistment and flexible enlistment that Phantom did touch on, and which I agree with, is that corporations should be able to enlist without dragging the whole alliance with them. If you want to create an alliance that will have certain enlisted corporations, they should be able to enlist without dragging everyone into the war with them. This would then prevent situations where people have to split corporations and alliances, alienating parts of their communities. Another issue that I already mentioned in my first video is that you only get some ISK where Insurgency ends, and if you retired in the middle of it, your whole contribution gets lost. This is something Phantom has mentioned as well, and I agree with him that having progressive rewards per Insurgency could be a better idea, making sure that you are rewarded for taking part in PvP rather than just farming plexes. Having rewards redeemable based on amounts of LP you gained in form of skins, minor blueprints for having enough enemy kills, etc. would make it a healthier environment that encourages both types of playstyles. Awarding standings for getting kills on enemy factions could be a good way of cementing people's involvement in this content, which was proposed by Phantom. Next point we discussed was the bonuses that come from suppression and corruption. Some of them are good, like the PvP drops for pirates, meaning they can earn a living, actually disrupting the empires, their warp speed bonus and scrum and web range for empires. Other bonuses though seem not balanced or uninspired. Empire gets NPC bounty and security status gain bonuses, but I am yet to see someone enlist in Empire militia and go to Insurgency to rat, while people who actually interact with the content can't gain anything from it because the Insurgency rats have no bounties. Pirates also only get spread of Insurgency further, which they well need to do to make this content happen at all at level 3, but Empire slows them down on the same level of suppression. It would be good to have a rebalance and new ideas for the bonuses, including maybe Pirates also slowing down progress of Empires when they hit level 3, and making that gain penalty lower in general, because right now, if there is a side-to-side fight going on in the system, the moment Empire hits level 3, Pirates will lose interest in the system, because there is no way for them to really catch up if a system is well contested. Having it on both sides would allow to catch up and even out the playing field for both sides. Lastly, on points that we discussed, which would affect everyone, it does seem that the whole mechanic with hitting stage 5 heavily favors Empires. I know, this coming from an Empire player, and Empires losing a lot of insurgencies, but those losses were coming mostly out of the lack of interest in the content rather than Pirates having an advantage. If Empire hits level 5 suppression, Pirates can basically abandon the system because they cannot use it to count it towards their own win. If Pirates win a system, Empire militias can still grab it to add it to the number of systems they have captured. Phantom's idea to balance it would be to extend the Empire bonus to Pirates, meaning that Pirates corrupting a system fully blocks Empire from going 100% there. In my opinion, that would require a slight extension of the Insurgency timeframe, because in case of an even fight, I cannot see one or the other side winning within just 2 weeks' time. My idea was to remove the limitation and allow both sides to hit level 5, but the effect they have, going lawless or deploying the turrets, would only apply for the faction that hits the 100% first. This would allow Empires to secure systems from going lawless, and both factions could, if needed, farm up a system to 100% to get their points. For pirate-centric points that Phantom raised, we have the following. Zarzak Shipcaster is a one-way highway. As much as this is a nice addition, this means that there is no real logistical solution that allows pirates to get stuff into Warzone and move it out. Why move it out? Because if FOB dies or despawns, pirate assets get moved to asset safety. As an Empire player, it should make me happier having pirates with limited possibility to project power over factional warfare areas. However, as a player, I recognize that this is a mechanic that adds layers upon layers of tedium for pirate side, making people want to try this content out less. Zarzak is supposed to be an ancient site full of technology, so making more of an Ansiblex gate, going back and forth, even if pirates would need to pay or use some tokens, which would be an LP sync, to use the gate, would not only be a better logistical solution for them, but would also reward people who decide to stockpile Zarzak market with ships and modules, making it a real, living pirate hub. Alternatively, assets from the FOB, since Deathless can drop whole stations at random, should be moved back to Zarzak for redeployment, rather than having people deal with asset safety or moving ships in and out constantly when insurgencies jump all around the area. Do you have other points you think could use a rework in insurgencies? Let me know in the comments, let's have a discussion and hopefully make it loud enough for someone in CCP to hear us and consider changing this expansion for the better. If you enjoyed this video, share it with a corp mate that might need it, leave a like and subscribe to see my future uploads. If you are interested in what I will talk about next, my videos go up every Sunday. And if we never see each other in space again, Capsulia, fly safe.